She basically just disappeared without a trace, and she was never seen again.
Hey family, and welcome back to another episode on our true crime series. Over here, me and my husband will shed light on a lot of true crimes, whether it's something that we've seen on TV or actual factual events that's going on right now. At the moment, I do want to take a moment of silence for the shootings that has been going on in the school system. So we want to take a moment and just say a prayer for those families and for those babies that lost their lives, as well as those teachers. All right, you guys, let's get into this episode. Today, we are covering a 26-year-old who went missing in 2018. Her name is Kierra Coles. Hopefully, you have heard of her by now, but we definitely want to shed light on what went on with Kierra.
So Kierra was a pregnant postal worker on the south side of Chicago. Her parents, her mother described her as very hardworking. She said if she set a goal for herself, she was going to achieve her goal. She was a very loving person, and she disappeared on October the 2nd. That was the last day she was known to be alive. Right before her disappearance, she had found out that she was 3 months pregnant. We don't know the gender of the baby. That was never
disclosed.
Yeah, that was never disclosed, but she was a very hardworking lady. That's what her mom, that's how she described her, and she basically just disappeared without a trace, and she was never seen again.
Yes. So Kierra was a postal worker, and it was surveillance that surfaced of a young lady walking in front of her home. And at that time, they knew that that wasn't Kierra, but they wanted to throw people off to believe that, that was Kierra. um Watching, the videos of her mom, she described it as, in the moment, her as well as the police felt like that was the right move to take to throw off whoever they felt like had something to do with what went on with her disappearance. And then her mom came out and said, hey, time has passed, a year has gone by, and nothing has happened. So I want everyone to know that no, that was not my daughter. We know for a fact that was, a postal worker. It was, she was a postal worker who had actually forgot something at home. So she doubled back to get what she left at home. But they definitely was not Kierra.
The whole timeline go as she talked to her daughter on October the 1st, and she said she had just called her and asked her about a product, and it was a normal conversation. She said Kierra seemed fine, everything was okay, and that nothing seems out of the ordinary. So Kierra told her that she'll call her back, and she never returned her call. So the next day, on October the 2nd, which is the day she ultimately went missing, her mom said she still hadn't heard from her that day, and it wasn't like her because they talked every day.
Right.
So she said she tried calling Kierra that day, and she still did not get an answer. So at this point, she called Kierra's job, and she asked, was she at work? Have they talked to her? And she said no, she called in sick the other day, and she actually hasn't been at work the past 3 or 4 days. So at this point, that's when she got real worried, and she contacted the police to help her perform a wellness check. Now, they went over to Kierra's house, and they found her car there, but she was nowhere to be found. And her lunch was in her car, her phone was in her car, her wallet was in her car, but she was nowhere to be found. So that was suspicious right there. Now, the same camera that captured the young lady that was also a postal worker that was walking, that they initially thought was Kierra, they camera footage actually showed Kierra's front door. So they have footage of Kierra and her child father at the time leaving the house, and the car pulled back up, and it was just him. His name, I believe, was Josh Simmons, and she wasn't with him. So he dropped the car back there, and that was that. Now, the mom said when she contacted him to let him know what was going on, that Kierra, which was his pregnant girlfriend at the time, was missing, and to just basically see if he knew anything. He said he didn't know anything, but he would do everything he could to help. So when the police doubled back to try and question him, he was nowhere to be found, and he had moved down south. I believe they actually tried to go down south to catch up with him as well, but he was nowhere to be found. Now, at this time, Kierra's mom said he had done changed all his social media, just disappeared. So they thinking he was going by an alias name. He still haven't been tracked down to be talked to. And that's the weird part. It's like where the mother of your child is missing and your unborn child is missing, and you're not trying to help.
Right.
So they definitely think that he had something to do with it. At this time, they still don't know where Kierra is. They have an award up. I think it's up to around $50,000 for any information that will lead to finding Kierra. They do believe she's still alive. They're keeping hope alive. But at this point, that's what it is now. They did see that footage, and they initially thought that was her, but it wasn't her. And they actually went along with it to try and trick the public, hoping that whoever done this would think that they had no idea that the police was on a whole nother that they was on a whole nother trail, hoping that the people who really done it would slip up and would lead to them cracking the case open. But unfortunately, it has gone cold. And here recently, the updates and things like that is now just her family and her mom on news channels. They basically saying the Chicago police has basically just quit looking for her. Yeah. They said at first they was getting a lot of press. I believe they had went on Good Morning America. They went on a lot of big time TV shows at first, and they said pretty much the interest in finding her fell off really quick, and she wasn't getting any more press, any more TV time. And I mean, it was around the time, well, now it wasn't around the time, but they have a problem with the way Gabby Petito's case got so much press. And now they're like, no one is even trying to help find my daughter at this point. She said she reached out to the Chicago Police Department, and they basically asked her, have you heard anything? And she like, nah, I'm contacting you guys because you guys are the professionals. Have you heard anything? And it's just nothing.
Right. And I mean, we all know when it comes to black and brown women, it's swept up under the rug. Like, people aren't searching for black and brown women as hard as they're searching for everyone else. That's a well-known fact. That's a fact. And it's really sad, you know, and that's why I really enjoy doing these true crimes, to shed light on cases like Kierra's. Like, she definitely needs to be found, and justice needs to be served if anything has happened to her. So, yeah, it's sad that so many, you know, African American and Latino women are coming up missing. Now, you know, there has been speculations that maybe, you know, she could be, you know, trafficked somewhere or kidnapped or anything like that. And that's very, you know, that very well could be the case. But as of now, her mom believes that foul play was involved. And like she said, they do have a few leads. So hopefully they'll be able to, you know, solve this case and bring justice. Justice will be served for Kierra. Yeah, you guys. Well, we definitely want to thank you guys for coming and for watching our true crime series. If you have any cases that you would like for us to shed light on, please leave them down below in the comment section, and we will definitely shed light on those cases. For now, we love y'all, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Peace, you guys.